speak. Entire neighborhoods have been destroyed.
Altogether, the fires have burned more than 35,000 acres, destroyed more than 10,000 structures, and at least 180,000 people have been forced to evacuate. The Palisades and Eaton fires are now in the top 20 most destructive wildfires in California history.
Today, President Biden and Vice President Harris announced the federal government will cover 100% of costs for the initial disaster response. The White House says the funds will cover debris removal, shelter for families, and salaries for first responders for up to 180 days. They also announced generators for water supply and more firefighting equipment, including equipment from Canada, is on the way. It all comes as calls are growing to do more to tackle climate change.
I'm going to make an appeal right now to the United States Congress. They're going to have to step up when we ask for more help. More help to get these people the kind of shelter they need, to get the kind of help they need, because it really does matter.
We have got to invest as a country in adaptation, and we have to invest in resilience. And that is about homeowners, that is about families, that is about cities and local governments, state governments.
The Biden administration also mentioned mental health concerns after the fires and called on the federal government to be prepared.
Video Thursday night shows the scope of the devastation from the Eaton fire in Altadena. Burning buildings, thick black smoke, and footprints and empty shells of what used to be people's homes and businesses. We're getting our first look at this dramatic inside view of someone's Ring security camera recording their property being consumed by flames from the Palisades fire. Authorities are now bringing in cadaver dogs, saying they don't know the exact death toll.
At one point, we'll be able to do a more thorough search of these impacted areas. Some of them look like a bomb was dropped in them.
The family of 66-year-old Victor Shaw says he died in a heroic attempt to defend his home in Altadena.
I opened the front door and I just yelled in, "Victor, we got to get out. This is it. We have to get out. The fire's here." And I didn't hear him say anything. I heard him say nothing. So I ran to the car and I just got out. I just got out. And I went down the street and there was a police car and I flagged him. And I said, "My brother's in the house, I need help." And he told me to get out. He said, "Go."
After finding his body out front, a garden hose still in his hand.
I can't imagine what he might have been thinking, how he might have been so frightened. And I couldn't be here. I couldn't be here to save him. I couldn't be here. That's what hurts the most.
Adding to the anguish, a new fire is burning Thursday night, the Kenneth Fire, prompting mandatory evacuations. These new aerial images show the neighborhoods under threat. A growing number of evacuees are anxiously waiting to get home.
It's really scary when you can see the flames coming up over the houses 2 blocks away, and you're just getting out of the driveway, and the smoke and the ash is so thick you can't even see. You can barely see 5 feet in front of you. It's like Armageddon.
At least 180,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders, potentially leaving neighborhoods vulnerable to theft. Authorities say they've made at least 20 looting arrests.
That is unacceptable behavior. Having additional resources, having the National Guard with us, which will augment those resources, will help send a stronger message, keep people out of the impacted areas so we don't continuously victimize the people who have already been victimized, who have lost their home.
Site, empty tarmacs.
We knew this was coming.
In response, the available fleet of C-130, 5 Firehawks, and a few S-2s have been sent south to battle the flames.
Along with many firefighters that are off duty, they've all been called in.
Fire Captain Dan Zemkeller says as the need for aerial support grew, timing played a crucial role in getting the resources in the air.
They were having the aviation safety conference here in Sacramento, and we had pilots in the area. All 5 of them lifted off en route down south to assist.
But the fight from the air is not without its challenges. Strong Santa Ana winds complicating efforts, making precise aerial drops a constant struggle.
We'll keep aircraft in the air as long as we can, as long as the retardant drops are hitting their marks.
Los Angeles Fire Chief Kristen Crowley says they had to rely on ground attack because of those strong winds.
The reality is the winds are so dynamic, and at that tipping point, when our air resources were grounded, that changes our strategies and tactics.
Working to contain the fires and protect communities, McClellan Air Base continues to play a vital role in this ongoing effort.
I've been doing this for 28 years. It seems like we've been getting busier and busier, and the fire season has become longer and longer.
CAL FIRE says they haven't sent all of their air resources to Southern California. They still have aircrafts available in case a wildfire ignites in the northern part of the state. Reporting from CAL FIRE Air Base at McClellan, Garjpal Sangha, ABC 10.
Garjpal, thank you. Sacramento Metro Fire says their crews have been fighting nonstop for over 2 days with no end in sight. Officials say they had to assist with a burning high school, leaving kids without classrooms. The battalion chief says the damage they're reporting is nothing short of apocalyptic. And Carly, I understand you're tracking yet another wind event heading that way?
That's right, and our way as well, as we'll see some strong wind gusts starting to move in by Saturday. Now, the Palisades Fire and the Eaton Fire are now number 3 and number 4 on the 20 most destructive California wildfires list, as they both combined exceed 10,000 structures burned. We could see some of these numbers increasing as this continues to burn. That may even hit the number 2 spot, pushing Tubbs down to number 4. Now, we are seeing a lot of these fires still burning in the area and a lot of spot fires creating new fires. So unfortunately, this could continue on as we move through our Friday, especially with a red flag warning still in effect until 6 p.m. We'll be looking at strong wind gusts through the area, high wind warning still in effect as well before things calm down by late Friday night. But as we take a look at our smoke forecast, they're dealing with a lot of smoke in the area. Air quality is bad. We'll see most of that smoke starting to push toward the west and offshore as we move toward Friday and Saturday. That'll help improve things just a little bit before we start to see more of those strong wind gusts moving in. You can see very unhealthy to hazardous air quality in the region. Futurecast winds through tonight, strong downslope winds, as you can see. But take a look as we start moving through Friday morning, even stronger winds. Simi Valley at 43 mile-per-hour wind gusts. Calm as we move through Friday night. Then the big gusts are back as we start moving through our Saturday. We'll talk more about what to expect in Southern California and here back at home coming up.
Carly, thank you. The ongoing fires in L.A. demanding a stop to the special session to focus on the firefight in L.A. He says a special session should be called to find more resources for the firefight instead of trying to fight the incoming president.
I just believe that's the wrong policy and priority. We should be focusing on fireproofing the state.
Lawmakers are expected to continue the special session hearing on Monday.
Like embers are concerns that many who lost their home in the Los Angeles wildfires also lost insurance coverage as their policy was canceled or non-renewed in recent months.
We're going to see who's non-renewed. We're also looking at if you were non-renewed, but you're still essentially covered within the deadline, then do you still have coverage?
California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara points out state regulation requires insurance companies to give customers 75 days notice before their policy is canceled or non-renewed. So even if someone got a notice before the fires, they might still have coverage.
The other question is, what happens to the folks who are not insured? So we're going to rely on the federal government and FEMA to offer services and the state to be able to offer some sort of reprieve for folks who may not have coverage. But right now we're in the middle of assessing what insurance are covered in the area, who doesn't have coverage.
He says it's too soon to estimate a dollar figure for the losses, especially since homes and businesses are still actively burning and threatened.
My job at this moment is to make sure that insurance companies pay these claims out as quickly as possible.
Many homes here are on the expensive and bare-bones California FAIR Plan, a state-mandated, privately funded insurer of last resort. The number of people on the FAIR Plan ballooned in recent years as private insurers have paused or limited business in California, citing the rising risk of wildfires, high cost of rebuilding homes, and state regulations. I asked Laura.
So just to be clear, FAIR Plan customers who lose their home can expect to be paid out?
Absolutely.
In a statement, the FAIR Plan told ABC 10, "We are aware of misinformation being posted online regarding the FAIR Plan's ability to pay claims. The FAIR Plan has payment mechanisms in place, including reinsurance, to ensure all covered claims are paid." As for future fires, Commissioner Lara has enacted a 1-year moratorium on insurance companies dropping or non-renewing customers within the immediate area of the Los Angeles wildfires. So those who do have coverage right now will continue having